Well, hello there. This is Grit Bloom, the Science Gnome, here with our latest creation to help you ward off those fire magic spells and keep your server farm safe. Looking at you, Rust. A secret formula created just for you. The ultimate in fire suppression. I call it asbestos. Just spray it on everything, and its tiny fires will keep you safe from fiery harm. Wait, what? What's a mesothelioma? Cancer? But I've been breathing it for years during the creation process, and already created once and banned across the world. But why didn't anybody tell me? My life, my wasted life. Just stop the music, stop. Well, luckily the new pesticide DDT is in the works, and I think that'll help me recover financially. Get this stupid microphone out of my face!
This is Crashed While Loading, the fusion of entertainment and information.
Hello there.
Weekly updates and opinions on video games,
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
movies,
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
TV shows,
This is the way.
This is the way.
and so much more.
JJ, what do you want to do tonight?
Off. We need to go on a quick adventure. Hello, people of the internet. Coming to you live from behind my tinfoil USB microphone. This is Crush While Loading. Episode 24, Burning Rust, I think is what I named it. I don't know. I come up with those things usually like a minute before I hit the button, so there's no telling what I actually decided on. Of course, behind my tinfoil USB microphone, half of that is actually true. It is just a shitty $30 microphone. But it sadly sounds better than the $100, what was that, snowball stuff that I was trying to use. I tried to get expensive ones, and they just picked up everything in the damn room. So, cheap-ass microphone works better. And since I'm not willing to spend $200 on an expensive-ass microphone. And that's just one of those little fun things they don't tell you about. Sometimes quality, the Always Save brand or the Great Value brand, really isn't all that terrible. So, with that, I'm Ashton Phoenix. You already know the show. Remember, if you're watching or listening on the podcast, which is awesome, you're amazing, probably very good-looking, a fan with the men, or the women, or the women, or the men, or both. I don't judge much. I'm judgmental, but I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that I'm judgmental. Well, there's a big difference. Don't worry about it. It's science. It's, it just kind of took this too long, but
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
exactly. Thank you, Dr. Venkman. So, twitch.tv/CrashedWhile Also, the YouTube channel. You'll just have to search Crash While Loading because it's a series of youtube.com/ and that's really exactly how it's pronounced, oddly enough. And hello, Ericus, our official Canadian ambassador to the show, in the chat. Appreciate that. And one story he actually put up, which I'm going to go over today, too. So, with all that fun stuff, Discord channel, youtube.com, or twitch.tv/CrashedWhileLoading. About button, click on the Discord link, join the Discord, and you too can share fun and interesting stories like YouTube trying to tax the world, as Ericus did. Before we get into the new stuff, quick overview of what I've been doing, because really, that's all I care about. We actually, Sib had a surgery. She's fine. It was okay. It was a planned thing. It was just, the recovery just sucks, because surgeries are always so fun and easy to get over, like, within days. Yeah, no, they're not fun. We've been watching a lot of TV and movies, some of which
I'll go over now, and some of which I'll save for later because me having watched something isn't going anywhere. And at the top of my head, I could not remember everything we've watched because some of it's still ongoing. For example, Rebels. We're season 3 in Rebels. Ezra grew up to be a kind of a little dick, and we finally got to see the animated Grand Admiral Thrawn, which I've been really excited to get to. I gotta say, though, watching through season 2, and I'm not too worried about spoilers on a show that ended like 5 years ago now, but them building up Darth Vader as the big bad guy in season 2, like the ending was great. The last 2 episodes of season 2 of Rebels was awesome, but Vader was only in like 3 or 4 episodes, and often that it was just like a quick cameo of like, Lord Vader, the rebels are in such and such system. I will go there myself. And then like 2 episodes later, he'd go there himself. It was not quite that bad, but he was widely underutilized. Ahsoka had a lot of awesome stuff, but anything with Ahsoka, I think she's basically the extended universe, if you want to call that, like all the stuff outside of the main movies. She's their Luke Skywalker now. Like everybody, she's well deserved too. She's probably one of the best characters they've come up with, and I did her at the start of the Clone Wars movie when they were rescuing that little Hutt baby, and then at the beginning, like the first season of Clone Wars, she was just annoying as shit. Hi, Sky Guy, which you'll notice they actually went way away from that later on because Fiorini realized it sounded dumb, probably. But she's awesome. So yeah, continuing on Rebels, really love getting to see a couple times Grand Admiral Thrawn. Already so far, Thrawn's in it in like 5 episodes, more than Vader was in 22. So I'm happy. We watched Raising Dion, which is a Netflix show about a little kid named what was his name? I'm sure it'll come to me later. But anyway, his mother's raising him, and it turns out he's got, like, superpowers. And not, like, just one. Like, he's not like Cyclops where he just shoots eye laser. He's got a shit ton of superpowers that slowly start to kick on. And single mom raising a kid alone is bad enough. The fact that her husband was Michael B. Jordan, I'm not surprised she's, still in mourning years later. Because I think most women would be. I'm pretty sure, Sib would be. I think she was mourning for her, actually. Because I've not met a woman yet that doesn't look at Michael B. Jordan and go, oh, damn! I mean, I'm not gay, but dude's good looking. I wouldn't say no. But it was a good show. I actually had some pretty good twists and turns in it. I was surprised. I mean, it's got Michael B. Jordan in it. Given the cost of that guy, he's not in it a lot. You find out like the first 5 minutes of the episode, his character's dead already. So he's more of in flashbacks and things like that, which is probably what they could afford to get him into this show and put his name on the billing. But it was surprisingly good. Like the special effects and stuff for the powers were like, for the most part, movie level awesome. Especially some of the slow-mo ones early on with like liquid, like milk spilling and freezing in time and rotating the camera. It was good stuff. It was very high quality. The little kid Dion that plays Dion, I mean, he's fine. He's a 7 or 8 year old actor. He's sadly better than Mannequin Skywalker still. So I mean, it's a low bar, but he does fine. He's a little kid doing as best he can. He definitely acts like a little kid. They got that real well, and all the other characters all around them, they're fantastic. But it was a fun show if you like superhero coming of age kind of things, and it does have a few little surprises for you. So it was good. Something we tried to watch last night actually, Mortal, which is a Norwegian film. It's a cross between English and Norwegian because it takes place in Norway. That is the actual official title of the country. Everyone's like, no, it's Norway. Don't believe them. You were publicly educated in the U.S. or some other country that was probably equally as terrible. It's Norway. Trust me. I know these things. And, we cut it off about 45 minutes into it because we were both bored out of our skulls and on the phones. Supposedly, it's supposed to be real good. It's like 4.5 stars, and he has superpowers. Again, we're on a superpower kick, apparently. It's real popular these days. I don't know, Marvel, why. It was. I mean, we got bored. We were both on our phones, and one of us got up to pee, and we're like, "Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, let's just watch." And then we watched more Rebels. So that tells you about all there was in that. Like I read the synopsis of how it ends, and it sounds really cool writing it. But 45 minutes into it, it wasn't getting into any of that cool stuff at all. It was really slow, excessively slow. It's like it's supposed to be a serial, like a drama. Well, yeah, but it still has to be, interesting. And it wasn't. It was just really slow and boring, and I didn't really care about any of the characters at all. So didn't grab us in 45 minutes. It's only like an hour and a half or so long. Moving on to games, still playing Bravely Default 2. Actually, I did the thing of shame. I lowered the settings to story mode and easy, quote unquote easy. I got to the end, big boss at the end of like the first chapter ish, when you get to the first time you can actually get a crystal, and yeah, that boy whooped my ass, and I was not having fun. So I lowered it. I did beat him on the first go. Still wasn't an easy fight. The game's difficult. It's like hardcore difficult, JRPG, old school difficult, and I don't have the time to sit there like I used to and grind out and learn every nuance and spend an hour, which it probably would have taken to actually beat the guy. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's not fun for me. So I lowered it. I'll probably just continue playing it on that. And it's still challenging. That's the thing. Even I was actually reading through on things like, how is this actually, does it make it crazy easy? And like, no, some people even on easy mode are still struggling to get through stuff. So I was like, all right, well, that sounds like the setting for me. But it's good. It's fun. I still enjoy it. I want to play some more. But then I had ESO combat revamp. So they went from like 810 of the CC point. I forget what they call them now. We all just CC points after you hit level 50 points. And now there's like 3,000 of them. And they completely redid the tree and dumbed it down pretty heavily and created the holy trinity of stuff. Like if you want to be a magic healer, you're basically going to have to go that route. If you want to be DPS, got to go that route. If you want to be tank, you got to go that route. And it's basically, they've created they give the illusion of choice, which especially early on you really don't have. Probably when you get above the thousands and 2,000s, I would assume you probably have a much wider range. But I'm at like 600, almost 700 points, and I filled out what I needed to do for DPS stuff and to be able to kill things, and that left me pretty much nothing left to do. There was no finessing. There's definitely a meta to it. And it's fine. The game needed something new, but I fucking hate that I had to doing the CC points is one thing, but then I had to completely remember and find the thing I was using for all my skills that I use, like 5 special moves and things like that. That was such a pain in the ass. I didn't need that reset for me. They could have made it free and then just been like, here, if you want to reset it, it won't cost you anything. But we're not going to do that for you. Instead, they fucking did it for me. And that was I only play 2 characters. I'm not like people like Jazz and another friend of ours, Foos, has like 15,000 characters. I can't imagine having to go through that bullshit for all of them. It was really annoying. And as much as it needed it, the game needed it, I hate relearning a game I already know. It's not fun. I don't really enjoy it that much. But that's what I've been up to. So with that, moving on to the news. And now we go live to Ashton Phoenix at our Foreign Gaming Affairs desk. Ashton, there was a lot going on this week over in the United Kingdom. Well, that's right, Ashton. I thank you for having me on. There was quite a bit going on, including a prison escapee that got his dumbass caught for wanting to buy a game, and giant server fires over for the game Rust. Now back to you, Connie, with our weather report. Anyway, so I actually have 2 Call of Duty stories, but one of them is not the UK thing, so we'll see. Over in the United Kingdom, also known as the UK, for those of you not, again, well-versed in the European countries like Norway and the UK. there is a escapee. He apparently over there they just have fucking prisons where people can just walk away, I guess. I don't know. For the way I read this, it was like he fled from Berkshire prison or Buckinghamshire prison, and like it was just like an open yard, and he just wandered off or something. I don't know. But there's a guy named Clint Butler hiding from the UK police since November. So this dude's gone a long time. This story was only posted on the 8th of March about a week ago because it came out right after I did the last show, or yeah, it would be right after so or before, and I just didn't see it yet. But he was serving 17-year sentence for robbery and firearm offenses, which I didn't think they had those over there. I've been told that there are no more firearms because it's banned. You can't have firearms where there are no firearms allowed to be had. That's just the way it goes. Look it up. It's the law. And if there's one thing we know about criminals, they obey the law. So West Midlands Police, this is so great. He's been out since November. Apparently they must have caught him in January, and the story just now made it to like Kotaku and a few other places. I think because it took that long for the dumbass reasons to cycle through. So they were at the Birmingham City Centre in January, and after a scuffle, cuffed the former prisoner. When asked why Butler was at the city centre during UK's current lockdown measures, see, I'm American. We're not really under lockdowns here unless you live in California or New York and places like that. Where I'm at, we're not locked down still. We can do things like eat and see friends and have a life. The benefits of having a vaccine, which even still they're like, no, you can't do stuff. Then what's the point of getting the vaccine? Stupid. Yeah, you give people benefits. Make it worth the while. So lockdown measures. He's an escapee. He's at a city center. And I'm fairly certain that these things are also online over in the UK just as they are here. I'm guessing, but I would probably bet everyone's firstborn child on that. I've come down to get the new Call of Duty because I can't sit around in lockdown, was Butler's friend told the police. So, yeah. So he went to go get a physical copy because he was bored at being on the lam in a lockdown and wanted to get a physical copy of Call of Duty Cold War. Dude, just fucking buy it online on the I don't know, whatever console he was playing it on. There's a reason criminals are criminals, and it's not because they're all Lex Luthor. There are a few Lex Luthors, I'm sure, out there, but you know why you don't ever hear about the Lex Luthors? Because they're smart, and they don't get caught going out to get Call of Duty Cold War in the middle of not only their prison escape, but a lockdown for coronavirus. Yeah. So he was his sentence was extended by 19 months following the act, and West Midlands Police Superintendent Nick Rowe, very United Kingdom name, Mr. Rowe. Let's see if I quite why he decided to risk being returned to prison by making the idiotic decision to come into town during lockdown with a friend to buy a video game will remain a bit of a mystery. You think? It says here he escaped from the Spring Hill Open Prison on November 29th. See, what's an open prison? I don't get that. I could have probably done more research, but I don't also care enough to find out what the prison system is like in other countries because they all pretty much suck differently. So, we got him, boys. We got him. Also in UK news, which is, EU. I'm American. We're allowed to just say that everything is either the United Kingdom or the European Union because we all know they're both one and the same. Rust, developed by Facepunch Studios, had kind of Rust had their week. It was going bad. Yeah, it was bad. was very bad. So they had a fire at their server fire, and they lost a, quote, large amount of data loss after a fire burst out at a data center that held the game's EU servers. So luckily, we Americans, Canadians, South America, that one guy down in the Antarctica, which, by the way, still the official podcast of Antarctica. Very honored. We're fine. We didn't have to worry about this because apparently this was only for the Europeans. And but still, I mean, joking aside, this actually kind of sucks, dude. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't understand. I was always under the impression that they had a lot of these. Like, I would be backed up at least once a day. Like ESO and Final Fantasy XIV. From what I understand, most of those things are backed up. You know, there's the main server farm, and the data gets backed up off-site at least once a day. So that way, if there is a massive loss, yes, it would suck to lose a day. But it sure beats losing everything, doesn't it, Rust? Because that's exactly what happened here. They're estimating, they lost 25, I'll just quote the guy, 25 of our EU servers remain offline due to the fire at the OVA data center in the early morning hours this morning. Unfortunately, the fire destroyed SBG2 building. We're expecting a large amount of data loss across the affected servers. So, and I got another article here because they got it back online, but right. So the servers then went down, obviously. So now they say 24 servers are gone, and each one of the servers held nearly 10,000 people during peak hours. So that's 240,000, server player kind of, that's 240,000 people's worth of shit that it could have held. Obviously, that doesn't mean that's always that during peak hours, and even then, you don't want to actually hit the upper limit of that because then everything goes like the beginning days of World of Warcraft and every online game where it just sucks to log in. So, some more. I love that the article says, so more than a few players were inconvenienced. You think? Just more than a few? Yeah, more than a few. So, by this time, McFarlane was awake at 7 and the phone flooded, blah, blah, blah. And they say here, the data centers these days are built to high standards with advanced fire suppression systems. I have evidence that proves otherwise. And if you haven't seen the actual fire, this is a... that's something totally different. Or is that... No, that is the building. For some reason, it looks like cargo containers, part of the building. But this is a it's got to be like a 6-story building, completely engulfed in flames. I mean, from head to toe, it looks like somebody just took a cardboard box, threw gasoline into it, and lit it from the inside, and poof, that's what the building looks like. It's a complete loss. There's no way they're getting any of that back. Yeah, their whole building looks like a bunch of fucking cargo containers on a ship. It's crazy. I guess it's a server farm, and people think this isn't the 1950s. We don't build things for aesthetics, but try a little bit at the very least. So yeah, that really sucks, and it makes me wonder. I don't play Rust. I know it's fairly popular. People seem to like it. I'm not just into those types of games, but I still feel for them. I'd be annoyed if I was playing ESO and did like a day's worth of work and they rolled it back. I know I would be because they did that in EverQuest and EverQuest 2 multiple times here and there and it wasn't for server fires. Shit just went bad. So, there's a lot here, but I also don't read some of the languages that they posted these Twitter things in. So yeah, it sucks. They'll get back on their feet. I don't know how you can compensate people for stuff like that. I honestly don't. You're just going to have to hope that they stick around. But I imagine that's going, at least in the UK, that's going to cost them some players. Because how are you going to want to rebuild and come back to that? Not everyone. Mega fans will. but not all of them. So, the next one here, brought to you by Ericus, our Canadian ambassador to the show. I don't know how this one gets enforced, to be honest with you. I mean, it is tax law, and I guess they'll just take it out. This one's going to be a fight. I have a feeling it's going to be a big fight legally that other countries will probably get involved with. So YouTube has told content creators and partners that they need to prepare for paying U.S. taxes on their earnings, even if they live and work elsewhere. So if you are using YouTube and that's how you make your living, and you're in, for example, Canada or over in the Europe, apparently you're going to be required now to pay U.S. taxes, which seems, when you're not living here in the U.S. and you're not a citizen, I mean, I get that on some things, you know, in import exports, but this is somewhat different. And they are actually the income that they get from YouTube. I mean, YouTube's making money on making more money on the advertisements than the fucking streamers are, and the creators and their partners. So they're paying the taxes that they get from that. So they send the money that the people earn by giving them a place that people would want to see an ad, and that money is then taxed by their local government, Canada or the Europe, for example. I'm just going to use the Europe because it's funny, and it probably annoys like 2 people, which is funny because there's probably only 2 people that will actually listen to this. Sorry for both of you. So, yeah, I don't, and they're already, I mean, it's already a rat race. Like, I don't do this for the money. Obviously, I have a job, a physical local job, and I'm not bashing on YouTube creators that actually are able to do that. It's not easy. Watch it, people like streamers like Girlfriend Reviews and things like that, or my friend Kitty, that streams a lot of stuff, ESO and other things like that. She works her ass off for that. They all do, every single one of them. The Girlfriend Reviews people, the amount of work that they have to put into that, finding the clips, writing the script, recording everything, editing it together, putting out, playing the video games on top of that. It's a lot of work. It's a job. It might be a job they've chosen and love, but it's a job. And to double tax them like this, I just don't know. So apparently here in it's owned by Google. Most people know that. The terms of service were updated back in shortly after the 2020 election. Let's see here, video game platform by Google actually updated their terms of service to tax U.S. creators shortly after the 2020 election. So Biden gets elected. Funny enough, people start getting taxed, but we won't go into that. At least it wasn't the government doing it, or was it? I don't know. There's those two, are Google and the government, are so intertwined at this point. I don't know where one butt ends and the other mouth begins. It's basically the Ouroboros of ass kissing. They're just like joined mouth to cheek on both ends. But it went largely unnoticed because the censorship outcries that YouTube was doing. But that all changes when you go to the world stage, because Tuesday YouTube announced that the taxes will soon be taken from the earnings of creators outside the U.S. So here's what they're going to do. It says taxes will be deducted from earnings derived from U.S. viewers. So if Ericus, the Canadian ambassador, starts doing a show when he's streaming it, and he gets good and he's getting ad revenue, and my dumb ass watches him, he'll get taxed because I watched his channel and saw his ads. So yes, he'll get revenue, but then he'll have to be taxed on that revenue. How do you tax a penny? I don't know, but they'll figure it out. That seems to be what most people get with ad revenue. So ad revenues, YouTube Premium, Super Chat, Super Stickers, and channel memberships. Those Super Chat and Super Stickers, I do not know what the fuck those are. I am not that deep into the YouTube culture. So, YouTube Partner Program, monetization settings, and royalties under the UX explains that it will regard the revenue of YouTube Partner Program monetization settings as royalties under the U.S. tax code. just as it has been doing for U.S.-based creators since November. Yeah, I'm gonna get you taxed. You're gonna pay for it all, Ericus. You know what? I'm making a border wall between myself and all of Canada, and I'm gonna make you pay for it. Ericus in the chat says, "Don't get me taxed, Ashen." That's what the response was to. I should probably read that for people listening later because not everybody's watching live. In fact, I think it's just him. Ironically, one of the first I've got a few responses here to people that did this. Ironically, the first one, Jordan J. Sparks, better known as Dance Coach Reacts. Cool, good for him. I don't know what that is, but I assume it's a dance coach that reacts to other people's dancing. That'd be my assumption. Says, what? I'm Canadian, working in Canada, already have to pay Canadian taxes on every single dollar I make from YouTube. Why? Very good question, Jordan J. Sparks. I do not know either. She says here, I'm confused at YouTube and AdSense are updating their terms so that all non-U.S. creators, he capitalizes things in weird spots, and that's what's throwing me off. I keep thinking it's a new sentence, but it's non-U.S. creators. It's like non doesn't need to be capitalized, and neither does creators. And neither does I have to pay American taxes. American, yes, just like we capitalize Canada. Taxes, not a capital offense. At least not a capital letter offense. Capital offense, you can do it when you're getting charged what everyone else is these days. So, on all the earnings, what? And that's when it goes to the rest of it. So, let's see here. Imagine making me pay for drone strikes when I'm not even a U.S. citizen, is how Scottish comedian Mark Count Dankula Meacham framed his criticism. To be fair, we don't always use drones when we do our strikes. Sometimes we do. But when we do them, it's like a video game, and it's pretty cool. So let's see here. Well, this one I found more interesting. You take 45% of our earnings already, which, man, that is a lot. And now you expect us to pay tax, tweeted one UK creator wondering why on earth should non-American creators pay tax to the American government when you're already taking a massive chunk of our AdSense. See, and here's the thing. I think people are confusing that this is our government doing this, and it could be, like I said. But from what I understand, YouTube and Google are just doing this willy-nilly just to, I don't know, cover their own. I would assume they could probably grab this, and they'll just use this money to pay for it. I really don't know exactly how this is all going to work. Let's see. Another major gripe of creators was that their own governments were already taxing their earnings. So YouTube's announcement amount basically it's a double dipping. Yeah, exactly. So let's see here. Sarah Winter Gaming, disgraceful. We get taxed by our own government, and now we get taxed from yours. Absolutely terrible. So as a non-American who has never been to America that lives in Europe under European. Should probably read the whole word before I say it. European laws. I'm not going to be taxed on videos I make for make for fun by American. Well, apparently, I'm not going to be taxed on videos I make for fun by America. Okay, I make for fun, not make fun of. See, that goes where my mind is. Yeah, they all have valid points, and I don't know how this is gonna do. And some commenters they said check countries for a tax treaty with the U.S. to have prevent dual taxation. Few reason that the world needs a non-American website to do the same thing YouTube does. Trust me. If anything else non-American got as big as Google and YouTube do, they're not going to be much different. It's not going to be better. Everyone, as you know, on the political spectrum here with the censorship we have, people are always saying, we need to get one for ourselves. And maybe for a time that would go well. And then after a time, it would get just as big and probably do the exact same thing. You know why? Because people and corporations kind of suck when it comes to... Google had one of their main tenets is not be evil when it was started. You think they're still following that? I mean, they think they are, but evil comes in a lot of forms. And yeah, evil might be a strong word, but they're not great. So moving on from that, let's go back to Call of Duty because I liked this story here. I actually did the thing on her, the girl that played Mara, Alex Zedra, in Call of Duty Warzone. She's in Call of Duty Warzone. I forget. Call of Duty Modern Warfare was she was also in that, but she's in Warzone. And apparently she actually plays the game she's in, which is cool. She got some streamers suspended for cheating after she called them out. Let's see. Following the accusation, she has also been. Yep. Okay. So there's been an update since I actually originally posted this, so I just have to read that real quick. So the original story is Alex Zedra, who's, again, the operator Mara. She has her own channel. She does these things. She streams it. And while she was hosting 2 other channels for a Sarah Icy Vixen Bells and Bearded Banger, apparently he bangs beards. That's very good for him. He probably should have done it without cheating, apparently. So the streamer, she noticed that as they were streaming and that they were hosting a channel. If you don't know what hosting is, it's like I do with like TNT the Khajiit. When my channel is on, or I'm not using it, I have it set up so that when she's on, it comes through mine. If somebody were for whatever reason to click on mine, it would show what she's doing and it would link back to her. It's a way that people help each other out. That's pretty much how that works. It's not, very difficult to do. But when you get somebody that's probably has a channel as big as hers, it's probably not too bad of a thing. So okay, why did it do? It said see more, and I clicked on it, and it just left the space blank like it was before. Fucking articles are terrible sometimes. So she clipped a thing from Belle's stream that raised some eyebrows, and in the clip you can see her tracking an enemy. She hasn't been seen through a dirt mound, and despite having no nearby pings from teammates that would suggest the enemy is there, and she took him out. So she did. Hey, at Twitch, I hosted a streamer hacking during a tournament. Just thought you should know, Icy Vixen, Bearded Banger. And the fact that it was a tournament, yeah, always ups the ante for these companies because they don't like when people cheat when there's money involved. They take that, and I take that personally, as the meme goes. So until today, Belle had been streaming alongside her partner, Bearded Banger, and they claimed to have amassed 40,000 followers and only started the stream 11 days ago. I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I've got like 8. So there are ways to buy that many, though. You actually can do that. And if they're cheating, I'm just going to throw that out there that that's possible. So after defending Belle's in the clip shared by Zedra, it didn't take long for the clips from Bearded Banger to come under some scrutiny, and the pair had both been accused of using an aimbot and wall hacks in game, and both had declined. Of course, they declined the claims. But the thing is, it's kind of like when people lie on TV, like especially politicians, or reverse a thing. Like, I never said that, or I never said that. I'll use both presidents. Yeah, you know what? We have this thing today called recordings. We can actually just look up what you said in the past and prove without a doubt in your own voice and picture, unless, of course, deepfakes start becoming really bad. That'll be a problem in the future. Don't worry about it. That you actually did say something entirely different, and you have completely flipped your position. Typically happens when one party gets into power and the other one leaves. Whatever the other one was for, they are now against, and whatever the other one was against, they are now for. Why? Because they're hypocrites and they have actual no morals. Kind of like YouTube streamers. Wait. Fuck. Outed myself, didn't I? Yeah.
That's a lot of nuts!
It is a lot of nuts. It has nothing to do with anything. I just love that line. So, according to, as of the writing of this came out, They had been on only one of them had been seen suspended for disciplinary action and the account banned. Bearded Banger, because this is what all people do when they're innocent, purge the channel of all archived videos, because I know when I've done something, I've been accused of something wrong, and I want to prove my innocence, I immediately delete all the evidence that could show that I was completely innocent. Yeah, you know what that doesn't purge it from? Yeah, Twitches, and they can still see that. So, which is why the update, when they looked into it, the following accusations of cheating alongside Sarah, Ivy, Vixen Bells, and Bearded Banger's Twitch ban has also been suspended. So, I want to actually, let's see, what's it say for his? Oh, yeah, he's offline. It's suspended. Yeah, I just checked his channel. It's not there. But more's the pity. But no, I think it's actually cool that I don't know. There's something cool when somebody that helped be a character in the game actually outs people for cheating in a game. I mean, she clearly takes pride in what she does, and her character's awesome. So there's that. In other news, it went through finally. Bethesda is now owned wholeheartedly by Microsoft, and because they are such a terrible company, well, in other ways they might be, but when it comes to Game Pass, they are not. So Xbox now owns Bethesda, and like within that day, 20 games came out onto the Xbox Game Pass. And almost all of them are available on both console and PC, and there's some baffling exclusions, and some of them, I mean, baffling exclusions. That's what the article says. The actual baffling exclusion is that you would think that's baffling. Like, everything's not going to come out instantly. The fact that they did 20 within, like, that 24-hour period, and the games that they did are surprising to me. So, this just makes Game Pass that much. I mean, it's like $15 a month, dude. And you can download any of these games, and plus all the other ones that they already have, like Gears of War. So, the list of games that they instantly released onto Game Pass was Dishonored, the definitive edition, Dishonored 2. I've played both, never beat them, and yet, oddly, I enjoyed both of them. I don't know. I have this weird habit of I just fall off of games when I've gotten older and just don't finish them, even though I enjoyed them. I'm sure it's going to happen with Bravely Default 2. I'm going to get to a point and be like, oh, something shiny's over there, and poof, I'm gone. Doom 1993, which is awesome. Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, which I think was more recently re-released, updated a little bit. Doom Eternal, which that one I actually downloaded on my Xbox because I do want to play through that. Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which that game does not hold up well. I tried to get that on PC, and even modded, I could not get more than an hour into it, and I was like, nah, this is just too fucking old for me and too clanky, and I don't have this kind of fucking time. Oblivion, Skyrim, and Online, Elder Scrolls Online. That one I assumed you could. I mean, that's kind of free to play anyway, but I don't know. I swore it was already on Xbox, but at least now it's on Game Pass. So if you did have to buy it, you don't have to now. Did the Doom guys see any elves? Always. I mean, some of those demons were probably elves, or halflings. Evil halflings. Other games released were The Evil Within, another game I didn't finish but liked. Go figure. Fallout New Vegas, game I did finish and liked. Fallout 4, game I was all right with and didn't finish. And Fallout 76, which nobody has finished because it's an ongoing game and not great. Prey, great game, didn't finish it. Rage 2, didn't like it. Wolfenstein, The New Order, liked it, didn't finish it. The Old Blood, and Young Blood. And I basically only played The New Order. So, and yeah, chalk it up to yet another platform that has Skyrim. To be fair, it already had Skyrim. I don't know why they put that in here. Let's see, and and there was some of the ones they excluded too. Let's see, out of the list, almost all are available on Xbox, PC, and cloud. Here are the exceptions that are console only if you have Game Pass. Fallout New Vegas, console only. Morrowind and Oblivion are Xbox and PC. Elder Scrolls Online is Xbox and the Xbox Cloud. And some of the games on the list will have graphical upgrades thanks to the FPS boost, which they mean that for like the Series X and S. So, yeah. There was a few. The Evil Within and Dishonored Death of the Outsider are not on here. They apparently found that the article writing this on GameRanks found that odd. They're fairly newer games if they're still making a ton of money, and that doesn't mean they're not going to come out soon. So Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus is not, it used to be on Game Pass but was removed last year. I imagine that's going to be coming back. So that's, I mean, if you play video games more than, like people like Jazz, that she basically plays, only online games like ESO. I've seen her playing Age of Conan and some farming game that she really enjoys. That's not worth it for someone like her. But if anyone plays multiple games, I honestly, even PlayStation fanboys, first off, quit it. They're all good consoles in one way or another. They're not perfect. One is not better or worse than another, really. Not these days. Yes, the exclusives kind of happen. And speaking of exclusives, they talked about that. There was a roundtable that they held between Phil Spencer, Xbox head of Xbox, and Todd Howard was there, and somebody else who I don't know, and so they don't matter to me. But Spencer explicitly said that the deal is bringing great games to Game Pass. Specifically, he said, quote, "I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. Games like Deathloop, which are now coming exclusively to PlayStation, but that was a pre-done thing. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to support those games on platforms they're on. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this is about, wow. Yeah.
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
That this is about delivering great exclusive games for you to ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. That's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of the partnership we're building. It's basically exactly what it is. So yeah, that's there. Some of these things are going to still be exclusive. The big question is things like Elder Scrolls, the new Fallout, are they going to make those exclusive? Because I see so many of the PlayStation fanboys. They're always mocking Xbox people, like, "Oh, we have the best exclusives, and you have nothing," and it's all about exclusives. Right up until there's a chance that they start not being able to get an exclusive game. Now they're all pissed off at Bethesda and Microsoft for doing the exact same thing they're constantly bragging about. It's dumb. Yes, exclusives happen. You know what you should do? Get both consoles. It's okay. Or a computer and like a PlayStation, because most things on Xbox are going to come out on PC one way or the other. I'm going to get both eventually when you can find them, and when there's enough of a library. Right now, if I got an Xbox, I'd probably play it over a PlayStation just because of the backwards compatibility thing being so great. But there's not really any new games still worth getting either one of these. There's no Halo Infinite, for example, on the Xbox. There's no exclusive of that caliber that is coming to it, or a new Gears 6 or whatever. Yeah, 6. PlayStation had a couple, Miles Morales, but that's just like DLC for the first Spider-Man in a lot of ways. It's a long DLC, but it's still like an 8-10 hour game, and it's, if it was even that, I think it was like 6 to 8 hours maybe. It was fairly short, but it was, from what I understand, exactly the length it needs to be by people that have actually played it. So, yeah, it was an interesting thing. There are still things coming out, like, and there's Bethesda Starfield, which Todd Howard is working on currently. And that, I have a feeling Starfield may actually go exclusive. And just because something's exclusive doesn't mean it will be that way all the time. But I could see Microsoft, they've paid $7.5 billion. Get your money's worth. Try to sell some consoles and sell some games on your system and on PC, right? So maybe they make it like 3 or 4 months exclusive. And then they switch it on and bring it to the other platforms to make the rest of that money up. Some people will be willing to wait. Others will be pissed, but someone's always pissed at something these days. The other thing that was interesting on this was Phil Howard admitting how fucked up 76 was, and that he was talking about how with the resources at Microsoft, for one, they're finally actually going to really get off the ground on Elder Scrolls 6, which they have not been doing from what I understand. But this gives them a ton of different resources, not just money, but systems and programs and things like that they're going to be able to use and really up the ante on their games. And frankly, they need it because they can't keep using the same shit engine they've been using for the last Fallout and Skyrim games. These crappy cinematic scenes, quote unquote, the dialogue is great, but when you're just sitting there staring at the torso of a person, an NPC that looks just like the other NPCs from the torso up, and or the head to their torso. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's not 2010 anymore. You can't keep doing that. You've got to start doing there's got to be a little bit more cinema to it. Even if they just switched the camera angles from your character to them, they need to put some animations and stuff into this. They can't keep doing the same talking mouth thing they've done in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Oblivion, and Skyrim. And ESO does the exact same thing for the most part. It's just a torso that talks and you click the options. That can't keep going on. That's getting, at least maybe I speak for myself, that's getting old. Especially when you see other games, even Final Fantasy XIV, where it's an online game, sure, but they're still doing full cutscenes and stuff. And then they do have some of the talking torso stuff, but at least the camera angles shift. They try to be at least a little cinematic with their in-game engines and things like that. They need to up their game. They've been riding on this high of the Fallout and Elder Scrolls series for so long. And if nothing has proven that is over, it was the shit that they got for 76 and all the stuff. They've really lost a lot in the last few years in ways of that. And so with that, ending on the show, let's make everyone feel old because I am suddenly, I'm there. I feel I'm no longer.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Not anymore. No, I live my life apparently 1 year at a time, and these games came out 20 years ago this year. So I saw this on IGN. It was games turning 20 in 2021, and I thought, oh, there can't be that many. I think I played damn near every one of these, and for most of them, I feel like this was last week for the most part. So on May 14th, 20 years ago this year, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons and Ages, which were Game Boy games. I think I played one of them because I wasn't going to get both because they were basically very similar games. They were fine. It was hard on the Game Boy, but still. So, June, February, March, April, May, June, July. July. Skipped over June, and that threw me off. July 19th, and this one hurt me a little. Final Fantasy X came out 20 years ago this July. 20 years. Titus and Yuna and all that whole cast and Sin. 20 years ago. That has now come out yet. 20 years. Yeah. 723 Max Payne. The first Max Payne. The one that basically, did the slow-mo thing from The Matrix because The Matrix made that popular, and this was the first game to really capitalize on that, and it did it well. Max Payne in that series it's kind of gone dark recently. It's been 20 years. Geez, can't imagine why. 8, 11, May, June, July, August. I'm so bad with the numbers of months when I'm not actually in it. August was Paper Mario and Devil May Cry. The first Devil May Cry came out 20 years ago, as well as Paper Mario, which I don't remember how many there have been, but I've played the crap out of both of those. And this next one hurt me deeply. And September 24th of this year, Silent Hill 2, one of probably the best of that whole series, is turning 20. It just hurts my heart. All of these actually do, especially these ones at the end, because you're going to feel super old. Like the next one on December 22nd, 20 years ago, Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah, I know they've been, and here's the thing, they've been running off Grand Theft Auto 5 for like the last decade now. At least that's what pretty sure it's what it feels like, and that's probably not too far from the truth. But 20 years ago, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. Also in October, Pikmin, the very first Pikmin, is not a game I really liked. I don't like those kind of things following you around games very much. But still, I remember that coming out, and my friends loved it. This one hurts. This one hurts a lot because it's such a good game, and I still remember, 2001. Of course, 9/11's happened at this point. The world's changing slowly but surely. And then Gears of War, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty comes out. And I played all the way through that, and it was fantastic, and it's a great game. Hideo Kojima, can't go wrong. But it doesn't hurt as much as this one. Also, the 15th of November this year, turning 20 years old, Halo Combat Evolved. Yeah, Ericus, Grand Theft Auto 3 was, I think that was Vice City. Or was that 4? No, I think that was San Andreas. Theft Auto, Auto 3 City. Let's see. It's Liberty City, actually. Grand Theft Auto 3 was Liberty City. I think Vice City was 4. That's the one where they went to the 80s and did that stuff. But yeah, this one's Liberty City. Oh, yeah, so your first one was 4. So you're now, yeah, there you go. Yeah, nope, Liberty City. Man, it was Silent Panagidus, Claude. But yeah, so Halo 4, Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved, which is one I just started playing through with Sib recently because it's on Game Pass. 20 years old. And that game, it's only been 20 years since basically first-person shooters were redefined, especially local play and things like that. It was a phenomenon unto itself. It redefined how first-person shooters were supposed to look, feel, and play. And having just playing through the first one, just the campaign with her, I can see exactly. I never played it. I didn't have an Xbox. I can see why it was the phenomenon it was. It did things in first-person shooters that, going back in time, really hadn't been done before. The closest, I think, would probably be GoldenEye 007 GoldenEye. And that did a lot of stuff in its first-person campaign, but it also didn't have the controls that Halo brought to the forefront. It was... Playing that old GoldenEye game is not easy. You don't look around. You have no head command, things like that. And so Halo is, oh man, so old. And also this November, turning 20, is Super Smash Brothers Melee. Yeah. I mean, that's not the first Smash Brothers. Or was that the first Smash Brothers? It might have been. It was. There's history. For some reason, I was thinking, was that the Super Smash Brothers series? Let's see here. No, I think, yeah, it was the second one. Okay, good. I'm glad I actually remember that correctly. I was starting to doubt myself. But it was the second one in the series, but it was also the one where it really evolved the gameplay and became absolutely insane. The first one was 2 years before, just Smash Brothers in 1999 for the Nintendo 64, and Smash Brothers Melee was came out on the GameCube, and completely, that's what most of the games are based off of now, is off of Melee. Still a fucking fantastic game too. It's a shame that it's 20 years old. Oh, my God. Feel so old. Now that I've depressed everything. That about wraps it up. Sorry I had to do this on Monday today, but like I said, been very busy this weekend. Had a lot of real life stuff, and just that's the reason I do this on my own, because it's just easier for me to be able to do that when I have the chance. And today I had that chance. I have a plan. So with that, I appreciate you, Ericus. You're the man, an official Canadian ambassador to the show. Listening live, remember twitch.tv/crashwellloading if you want to watch the show live. If not, if you're listening to the podcast, you happen to be on iTunes. Even if you're not on iTunes, you want to still go to iTunes for whatever god-awful reason and give the show a review. Give it 5 stars, because that is the exact number of stars this show, in fact, does deserve. Just remember, I am a single married podcaster doing this singly by myself. I write the show, I host the show, I fuck up the show constantly, all the time.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
But that's why I do it. So, also YouTube, just YouTube search Crash While Loading. Appreciate you if you want to follow things there. And that about does it.
From behind my tinfoil microphone, I'm Ashton Phoenix.
Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his latest in video game rock covers and original music. Oh, and completely unrelated, or completely related to that, he recently released the theme song for Endwalkers for Final Fantasy XIV. Fucking phenomenal. I actually have to just play that during the show next week, just because it was so good. Bye!